Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty interesting out of Washington. We got a source talking about a spending bill, and there's this apparent contradiction. Former President Trump is claiming victory because the bill cleared a key Senate hurdle. Sounds good, right?
Hmm.
But then the same report says Democrats are stalling the final vote. Huh. So our mission for you, our listener, is to figure out what's really going on here. What do these two things actually mean?
Yeah, it's crucial to understand the steps involved in making laws. These headlines, cleared a hurdle, stalled vote, they can sound like opposites. But the legislative process, it's complicated. Knowing the stages helps make sense of it all. It's definitely not just a simple yes or no.
Okay, so let's start with that first part. Trump claiming victory after clearing a key Senate hurdle.
Hmm.
That phrase, key Senate hurdle. What does that actually signal? I mean, how significant is it really in the whole timeline of a bill?
Right. So that hurdle is usually what we call a procedural victory. Often it's about overcoming a filibuster threat. It typically means they've managed to get 60 votes for cloture, which basically ends debate and allows the bill to move forward towards a final vote.
60 votes. So that is significant then. It shows pretty strong support, maybe even bipartisan.
Exactly. It signals that there's a powerful enough coalition, potentially across party lines, that wants to advance the bill. It overcomes a major potential roadblock. So tactically speaking, yeah, clearing that hurdle is a pretty big win. It shows momentum.
Okay. But then almost immediately, our source says Democrats are stalling the final vote. How does that even work? If you've got the 60 votes to end debate, how can the final passage, the actual vote, still be stalled? What power is left?
Well, that's the critical difference, you see. Clearing the hurdle, getting cloture, that just makes the bill eligible for final vote. It opens the path, technically. The final vote itself, that's usually just a simple majority vote, 51 votes typically. But stalling that vote is a different strategic move.
How so?
Well, even after cloture, the rules can sometimes allow for delays before that final vote actually happens. The minority party, or even just a few senators, might use procedural tools to, slow things down. They might do it to try and negotiate changes, add amendments, or maybe just run out the clock, perhaps hoping public opinion shifts.
So it's like a way to apply pressure or disrupt the timeline even after losing the cloture fight.
Precisely. It can be about leverage. Or sometimes it's just about delaying the inevitable for political reasons. It doesn't necessarily mean the bill won't pass eventually, but it does mean it's not a done deal just because it cleared that 60-vote hurdle.
Okay, this makes more sense now. You've got this procedural win showing broad support, clearing the path, and then this strategic pause right before the finish line. So what does this kind of back and forth mean for, actual government stuff? Funding, policy? Why should we care about these procedural games?
Well, it matters a lot, actually. This push and pull, this legislative chess game, directly impacts when and if government agencies get funded, for example, or how quickly policies get implemented. Think about infrastructure projects or changes in healthcare rules. This kind of uncertainty, these delays, they can slow everything down. A stall on a spending bill could mean delays in funding for critical programs affecting real people.
Right, so it's not just inside baseball. It has real-world consequences.
Definitely. It highlights that constant tension. A bill can show strong momentum, overcome a big obstacle, but still face significant resistance that dictates the timing and maybe even the final terms of its passage.
So wrapping this up, our source really captures that dynamic, doesn't it? A significant procedural win met by a strategic halt.
Exactly. It shows how legislation often has to navigate this really complex political landscape. It's rarely a straight line from introduction to law.
It really underscores that victory in Congress isn't always clear-cut. It's more like a series of battles, not one single event. Which leaves us, and you, with a final thought. In this whole legislative process, what really counts as a win, especially when a bill clears a major hurdle only to be put on ice indefinitely? What do you think the next move might be in this particular chess match?